The future depends on what you do today. आपका भविष्य उस पे निर्भर करता है कि आप आज क्या करते हैं. Hello friends, welcome to iExamB. I am Prachi Agarwal, your mentor for decision making NABARD Grade A exam. In this series, to make your day fruitful, I am going to discuss some more important questions from the decision making segment of your NABARD Grade A exam. This is part 2. For watching the video of part 1, you can refer to our channel. You will also be able to download the PDF for this video in the description box. In my last video, I had asked you a question which was, when our decision about the ability of a person is influenced by the general impression we have of the individual, our decision is said to be impacted by which of the following? The correct answer is halo effect. Halo effect is about when we have a certain impression about a person and that impression makes us take decisions. If this is a positive impression, usually refer it to as halo effect. In case it is a negative impression, we may sometimes also refer it to as the horn effect. So it is a kind of a bias that comes in the decision making by certain people. Let's move on to the questions for today. Question 21. Rational decision making is a multi-step process starting with defining the problem. What is the next step in this process? So we had discussed, हमने ये बहुत बार पहले डिस्कस किया कि rational decision making के कुछ स्टेप्स होते हैं और जो पहला स्टेप होता है that we need to identify the problem set or define the problem set for which we are looking to make a decision. So next step इस process में क्या होता है? Is it identifying the alternatives, identifying the selection criteria, identifying the decision maker, identifying the biases, or identifying the technique of decision making? The correct answer is identifying the selection criteria. So हमने 5 steps की बात की थी majorly. First is finding and defining the problem. इसके सब parts होते हैं. हमें अपना objective पता होना चाहिए. अगर हमारे पास multiple objectives हैं, then objectives की क्या priority है, प्लस व्हाट आर द सिलेक्शन क्राइटेरिया या पैरामीटर्स जो हम कंसिडर करेंगे अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव तक रीच करने के लिए, अपने ऑल्टरनेटिव्स को आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए. सो दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेस. एंड नेक्स्ट स्टेप फिर हमारा जब हमारे पास सिलेक्शन क्राइटेरिया आ जाता है, देन आवर नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज टू आइडेंटिफाई द ऑल्टरनेटिव्स एंड मूव अहेड with that towards the final decision making. Next question, in the decision making process, which of the following is the most essential element that is required? Is it alternatives, biases, criteria for selection, desires, or emotions? The correct answer here is alternatives. Decision making की requirement तभी आती है जब आपको कोई choice करनी पड़ती है between 2 or more choices that you may have or alternatives that you may have. इसलिए alternatives जब तक exist नहीं करते हैं आपको decision देने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती. So that is the most important element that should be there in decision making. Next question, a phenomena in which decision is taken by a group that conforms to majority opinion to maintain group harmony. What is this phenomena known as? Is it known as group dynamics, group consensus, group decision, group think, or groupmanship? The correct answer to this is groupthink. That means you are thinking as the group is thinking so as to avoid any kind of conflicts and to maintain harmony in the decision making process and in the group that exists. This usually may lead to sometimes dysfunctional kind of decisions being made because people are actually not really thinking. So it's defeating the purpose of a group decision making where everybody is contributing and bringing different perspective. Therefore, groupthink is not a very efficient way of taking a decision. Question 24, the management which of the management function is most closely related to decision making? So when we are talking about the different management functions, there are mostly the 5 functions of planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. Leading is also known as directing. This first function is also known as directing. Right, so which is most closely related to decision making? The correct answer is planning. In planning, we are stating down what will be the course of action, how we are going to execute it. So it is very essential that to have a plan, you have to take the decision as to what the objectives will be, what course will be chosen. So it is very, very closely. So decisions are required at all the levels, but it is very closely related and very essential in the planning function. Next question, question 25. A decision is said to be rational when it is based on which of the following? A gut feeling, a reasoning, a bias, emotions, or none of the above. The correct answer here is reasoning. So rational decision is logical decision making, reasonable, objective decision making. Gut feeling, when the decision is based, we call it intuitive. Biases are should be avoided so as to get a rational decision. Emotional decisions also many a times are not efficient decisions, so they should also are not a part of decision rational decision making. With such discussions at iExamB courses help you to unfold your potential so as to perform to the most optimal capacity of yours to do wonders and shine in any of the competitive exams that you are appearing for. For mock tests, you don't need to buy mock tests. If you only want to practice tests, you can avail that facility at iExamB for free of cost. All quality mock tests at iExamB are free. For NABARD also, you can practice for your phase 1 2022 on iExamB free of cost. Moving to the next question, question 26. Daniel Kahneman won the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences in 2002 for which of the following theory? Was it bounded rationality theory, behavioral theory, prospect theory, satisficing theory, or normative theory? The correct answer is prospect theory. This theory he had given in along with Amos Tversky. So they together had brought out the prospect theory, which is about taking decision in cases of uncertainty and risks that people face. The next question is 27. The sales head is setting the sales target of the month for each team member. This is which type of a decision? Is it a program decision, a non-program, strategic, policy, or personal decision? The correct answer here is a program decision. A program decision is basically decisions which are repetitive in nature, which are of routine nature, which the middle or the lower management can take as per the defined guidelines or repetitive nature of these decisions being taken on a regular basis. So here setting sales target is a regular operational feature of the team, and therefore it is a programmed decision. Question 28. Rohini wants to buy a laptop. She wants a laptop that has 8 GB RAM, has 250 GB plus of storage capacity. It costs less than rupees 30,000 and is light weighted. Which of the following step of rational decision making is being performed here by Rohini? So all these aspects that she has listed down, actually it is a part of which of the steps in decision making we discussed in one of the questions earlier today. So if you have understood those steps, you will be able to identify which one is this. Is it identification of the problem set? Is it identification of criteria, identification of alternatives, evaluation of alternatives, or selection of the alternative? The correct answer here is identification of the criteria. So Rohini is actually listing down the criteria that she has to keep into mind while taking a decision. So her problem set is which laptop to buy. Identifying the criteria is these are her 4 criteria, that there should be this much RAM, storage capacity, cost, and lightweight. So based on these criteria, she will then come out with alternatives and then evaluate them on all these 4 parameters to come at a decision. Question 29. Dash is a computer information system used to analyze the firm's databases and turn them into information useful for decision making. The correct answer here is DSS. DSS stands for Decision Support System. So it is one of the quantitative techniques of decision making, in which a computer information system is used to analyze the firm's databases, which will eventually help the organization or the management to take the decision. Question 30. Which of the following are the four main styles of decision making? There are different styles that the decision makers can use to take decisions, depending on what the parameters they are, how much tolerance they have for ambiguity, and what are their own value systems in terms of are they task oriented or relationship oriented. So there are four styles which are mostly identified. Which are these? Is it adaptive, frequency, individual, and rational, or directive, conceptual, analytical, and behavioral, or intuitive, directive, rational, and emotional, onboarding, analysis, common, biased, and frequency, or is it the selling, telling, yelling, and twirling style of decision making? The correct answer is B, directive, conceptual, analytical, and behavior. These are the four styles of decision making that are mostly discussed based on two parameters: tolerance for ambiguity, that is how much information one is ready to take in before taking a decision, and then the value orientation, which means what are you more focused as a decision maker, whether you are more focused on the task or you are more focused on people or the relationship orientation. So based on these, there are these four styles that are there for decision making. So a practice actually is a very important, because success has to do with a lot of deliberate practice. Malcolm Gladwell gave this very important quote about the importance of practice, because practice is what differentiates you. It makes you focused, determined, and when this practice is happening in an environment where there is regular feedback, it is what leads you to success. And that is exactly what we are doing right now with a series of sessions for different subjects for your NABARD Phase A exam, doing a lot of sessions of revision, important questions. I hope you are watching all of them to practice more and more for your upcoming exam. Let's move on to the next question, question 31. As per bounded rationality, the decision making is limited by certain factors like cognitive limitation. Cognitive limitation refers to which of the following? Is it limitation due to lack of time, limitation due to lack of resources, limitation due to mental processing capability, limitations due to inability to collect all information, or limitation due to inability to recognize the correct decision maker? Cognitive limitations actually refer to the limitations you have to your mental capacity to process information. There are other limitations that bounded rationality talks about, other being imperfect information, which is the inability or actually the lack of all information that can be present or can be used for decision making. And then there is the time constraint, that is lack of time to be able to process all information or to collect all information. So these are the three limitations in bounded that lead to bounded rationality as discussed by Herbert Simon. Next question, the dash is a process used to arrive at a group opinion or decision by surveying a panel of experts. So this is one of the decision making techniques. The correct answer is Delphi technique, in which you are surveying a panel of experts, getting their replies, cutting down and shortlisting the important options, alternatives, and then finally coming at a consensus decision. Next question, question 33. When a manager takes inputs from his team members before taking a decision, he is referred to as which type of a manager? Is he autocratic, democratic, bureaucratic, charismatic, or captive? The correct answer is democratic. He is also known as a participative leader or manager who is taking inputs from all his team members and involving them in decision making process. Next question, which of the following best describes the descriptive model of decision making? In my last part 1 video, I had discussed about another model, which is the normative model. If you had paid attention, you will be able to answer this question about the descriptive model. Is it about how people should make decisions, or how people actually make decisions, or how people escape making decisions, or people want to make decisions, or how people like making decisions? The correct answer is B, how people actually make decisions. The other model, the normative model that I was talking about, relates to the point A, which describes about how people should make decisions. The last question for today, the propensity of a decision maker to be influenced by the manner in which the information is presented to him or her is known as which kind of the bias? Commitment bias, confirmation bias, hindsight bias, framing bias, or anchoring bias? Please answer this question by replying on the comments box. I will wait for your replies and give you the answer in my next series to this video to complete your 50 most important questions for decision making for your upcoming NABARD Grade A Phase 1 2022 exam. Till then, keep preparing. All the best. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. In case you have any queries, you can write to us at hello@iexamb.com or call us at 920-552-4028. Don't forget to also press the bell icon